Good morning, Kenya, and I'll be bringing you up to speed with what has been happening in as far as the news is concerned in the last 12 hours or so. And so in the highlights this morning, in our bulletin, Wiper Party expels its deputy party leader, that is Farah Maalim, over disparaging remarks linked to the Dadaab member the Dadaab MP during President Ruto's recent tour of Rift Valley. And patients stormed a meeting being held by Health Cabinet Secretary Deborah Barasa to protest at what they term as SHA inconveniences. And the government, top officials led by Head of Public Service, that is Felix Koskei, yesterday congregated at the All Saints Cathedral for the 2024 Thanksgiving service. I'll be bringing you details of that and, of course, sports later on in this particular bulletin. But we want to begin right there with our top story, where Dadaab Member of Parliament Farah Maalim has been expelled from the Wiper Party following disparaging remarks he made at a rally in Uasin Gishu. Now, the announcement was made by the party leader Kalonzo Musyoka during a press conference where he said Maalim crossed the line with his remarks towards a section of Kenyans. However, Kalonzo did not disclose if the party has written to the Speaker of the National Assembly to relay their decision.
Once again, Dadaab Member of Parliament Farah Maalim finds himself in an all-too-familiar position. This time, the MP appears to have rubbed the party the wrong way.
Honorable Farah Maalim, who until now has been Wiper Democratic Party's deputy leader, stands expelled for violating the Constitution and the rights of Kenyans, and even abusing Kenyan mothers.
Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka says the decision was not easy to make, but noted that the lawmaker crossed the line when he made disparaging remarks towards a section of Kenyans.
Very heavy on my heart, because I've known Mheshimiwa Farah. Used to be a reformist, campaigned for him seriously in Dadaab, against that time an ODM candidate, and we won for Wiper. Therefore, it doesn't give me any pleasure.
However, the party leader did not disclose if the party had notified the Speaker of the National Assembly, Moses Wetangula, of their decision.
Even if, because there's that thing they always follow in the Constitution, unless somebody resigns in writing to Mr. Speaker, right? He will still sit there, like those renegade Jubilee MPs who are expelled. We know this.
Meanwhile, Kalonzo and his allies have demanded the resignation of top government officials who they accused of allegedly being behind the recent cases of enforced disappearances.
You've actually demonstrated leadership from the front because you've been in court. We'll fight them in court, we'll fight them in the streets.
This coming a day after Public Service Cabinet Secretary Justin Muturi recorded a statement with the DCI at the Kilimani police station over who was behind the abduction of his son, who has since been released.
Honorable Muturi has been seeking answers for the past 6 months. They have not been forthcoming.
I would just say bring it on. At my age, I'm not the kind of person to respond to some of it is really very perfunctory statement made by fairly inexperienced politicians.
Meanwhile, the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights has revealed that 25 Kenyans are still missing as of June last year. The commission also at the same time said they have recorded 85 abduction cases from the same period in the country.
We also demand the immediate release of the remaining abductees.
Kalonzo Musyoka has urged Kenyans to wait with bated breath on the 27th of this month, when the Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja as well as the DCI boss Amin Mohamed are expected to appear before the court to explain the whereabouts of individuals who cannot be accounted for till today.
Thank you, Abdulaziz, for that report. Now, the Ministry of Health has exuded confidence that ongoing talks to forestall the looming clinical officers' strike will bear fruit. Speaking a day after the talks between governors, the Ministry of Health and the Kenya Union of Clinical Officers in Nairobi, Health Cabinet Secretary Dr. Deborah Barasa has urged for patience among health practitioners, vowing to address their demands.
Solidarity forever. With 4 days left for the government to address issues raised by clinical officers who have threatened to down their tools starting Sunday, 19th January, the Minister of Health insists there is no need for alarm among Kenyans. According to Health Cabinet Secretary Dr. Deborah Barasa, a consultative meeting called by Council of Governors on Tuesday in Nairobi has put the country in the right trajectory towards averting the clinician strike.
Accessibility is really critical, and one of the areas we're looking into is having the quality of care bill that will be able to be tabled and ultimately will be able to have improved coverage and accessibility so that all the human resource for health will be able to offer services to Kenyans all over.
And on the issue of the professionals, this is an issue that has been raised. And even yesterday, as late as yesterday, there was a meeting between the Association of Clinicians, the Ministry, SHA, and other players with a view to find a solution to that issue. And I'm very confident that a solution will be found.
Addressing the media at her Afya House office in Nairobi on Wednesday, Ms. Baraza emphasized government's keenness to ensure all Kenyans afford comprehensive health care under the universal health coverage. On Tuesday, Kenya Union of Clinical Officers leadership vowed to lead its members to a national strike should the national and county governments fail to heed their call for recognition and employment of healthcare providers and practitioners under the Clinical Officers Council and the reinstatement of pre-authorization rights for clinical officers under the Social Health Authority, SHA.
On the issue of facilities, I think that one has largely been addressed, because facilities owned by clinicians, just like facilities owned by any other person, are empaneled, and there's a very elaborate procedure under KPMDC. KPMDC works in collaboration with the other regulators in empaneling facilities. Then they are brought to SHA for contracting.
Thank you, Joseph Okongo, for that report. We still keep with matters health, where the Kenyata National Hospital has shifted blame toward the management terms as system downtime experienced within the facility for failure to attend to some patients. There was drama at the Ministry of Health headquarters when a section of frustrated Kenyans stormed into the precincts, lamenting the inconveniences caused by SHA in receiving treatment at the Kenyata National Hospital.
2 minutes after the Health Cabinet Secretary Dr. Deborah Baraza finished her press conference where she highlighted some of the milestones achieved by the Social Health Authority, drama ensued.
This man has a child. Come sit here. He has come all the way from Kibwezi. Come and sit here. His child has swollen a coin.
A woman walked into the office demanding answers over the delay in the approval of the request for the treatment of her child.
There are some complications. Nothing is going to happen unless SHA approves.
We have been in Kenyata waiting for that portal to open, and it is not opening, it is not working.
Grace Njoki, among other Kenyans, frustrations written on their faces bitterly expressed what they decried as a lack of access to medication at the Kenyata National Hospital.
Zaidi nimetembea all the way from Kenyata, tunaenda mpaka pale SHA House. Fika SHA House tumeingia ofisi gani, go this, and the system ziko chini. System ziko chini aje. Pesa inaingia, ukilipa SHA, you are told lipa 6 months upfront. Ukilipa SHA inaingia, pesa inaingia, hiyo ihang. Lakini matibabu hatupati Kenyata, sababu ya nini? SHA haifanyi, sijui OTP haijatumwa, sijui nini.
This, they said, was occasioned by delays and inefficiencies caused by the Social Health Insurance Fund scheme.
Over there were many people working. Hapo Kenyata wako nje, hawasaidiki, sababu ya nini? Hawezi saidika unless SHA ikuwe approved. Seriously, whoever is in charge, SHA thing, so tusaidie. We are going through a lot.
We've worked in the offices of NHIF. We've gone to all those floors. I've even gone to the ICT department. I've gone to the pre-authorization. They are not able to give us any access. They are not able to get into the portal.
In a quick rejoinder, however, the Kenyata National Hospital said the inconveniences were caused by a recent system downtime experienced over the last 2 days. To prevent a repeat of the problem, the hospital has announced the deployment of additional personnel across all the affected departments with extended working hours.
More than 17 million Kenyans have so far been enrolled in the Social Health Authority. At least 13.2 million are new members, while 4.6 million transitioned from the defunct National Health Insurance Fund. At the same time, the Ministry of Health has allayed fears of a shortage of drugs, including antiretroviral drugs and BCG vaccines.
Health Cabinet Secretary Dr. Deborah Baraza on Wednesday outlined the various milestones achieved in the universal health coverage.
17.8 million Kenyans have registered with the Social Health Authority. 13.2 of these are new members, new registrations, while 4.6 million are old members of the defunct NHIF who are transitioned into the Social Health Authority.
Among other key achievements in the rollout of the Social Health Authority are 8 kidney transplants, 8,300 dialysis sessions, and the management of 21,000 oncology cases.
You are working with other agencies, including using the NHIF data, the civil registration of persons, and the NEMIS data integrated to ensure that we add our dependents.
Over 7,900 facilities have signed manual contracts with the Social Health Authority, with 2,602 have already completed e-contracting. According to the ministry, 1,753 facilities are in the process of finalizing the e-contracting process. On the financing of the system, the government has disbursed more than 9 billion shillings to health facilities since October 2024 to ensure a seamless transition. Ministry of Health Director General Dr. Patrick Amoth, while hailing the scheme as a transformative in the country's health sector, attributed delays in the reimbursement to incomplete registration.
As much as we call upon Kenyans to be able to ensure that when they register, they complete the entire registration process, including the means testing, which will be able to determine how much an individual household is supposed to pay.
Dr. Amoth at the same time explained the delays in disbursing antiretroviral drugs.
There was a change of the medicines that were being used, specifically DTG, dolutegravir, was being used instead of protease inhibitor, atanavir. So that transition, changing from one medication to another, out there, maybe they were not quite informed that now we are using DTG for our clients.
Additionally, the Ministry of Health has committed to procuring more than 2.3 million doses of BCG vaccines by the end of January 2025 to ensure adequate supply.
We are alive to the fact that we have faced a challenge with the BCG vaccine, which is the first vaccine administered together with polio at birth. And we have placed an order and we are going to get 2.34 million doses of BCG vaccine by the end of this month.
Thank you, John Kahiro, for that report. We look at the business, and small-scale farmers are set to benefit from a 6.3 billion shillings funding from the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, to streamline the agriculture value chain. TechnoServe Deputy Country Director Sebastian Ogema says the fund will create market linkages to minimize post-harvest losses and assist startups in the agriculture value chain to access affordable credit. Frederick Mwoki has the details in the following business news roundup.
A 6.3 billion shilling funding from the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, to streamline the agriculture value chain has been earmarked to empower small-scale farmers in Kenya. TechnoServe Deputy Country Director Sebastian Ogema says the fund will create market linkages to minimize post-harvest losses in the agriculture value chain.
Different sorts of finance. Farmers require different sorts of finance. Those who buy from them require different sorts of finance. Those who process that food require different sort of finance. Those who transport that food require different sort of finance.
Meanwhile, the demand for meat and milk in sub-Saharan Africa is projected to surge by over 250% by 2050. To enhance market access by pastoralists, the African Union Inter-African Bureau for Animal Resources has rolled out the African Pastoral Market Development Platform. The initiative seeks to enhance the resilience of pastoral communities through innovative data-driven approaches.
If we improve the marketing of livestock, then we can make use of the livestock that we have. The other thing which we need is the infrastructural development, value chain development. We have to enhance the value chain from production to marketing and to consumption.
Finally, traders across Africa will now have a chance to trade with greater ease and efficiency following the launch of Umoja Coin, a digital currency specifically designed for cross-border trade on the continent. The digital coin, which was listed on Singapore-based cryptocurrency exchange CoinStore this month, aims at addressing trade barriers such as fluctuating exchange rates and limited access to banking services.
Coin is a digital currency that is paired with USTD and is secure, seamless, and a low transaction fee. So basically, you'd compare it with the old barter trade system where you would exchange goats with maize, but now you're not trading goats and maize anymore. You can actually send Umoja Coin and somebody receives it instantly, whether you're in Kenya, Ghana, or New York.
From business, we now move to sports. Former Kenya Sevens captain Vincent Onyala has been included in the national men's sevens team that will head to Australia for the Perth Sevens scheduled to take place from the 24th to the 26th of January 2025. The team, which had been training in Nakuru before relocated to the RFUA grounds this week and will leave on Saturday for Australia.
Onyala, who co-captained Kenya the Paris 2024 Olympics, has not featured in the team since they returned to the HSBC series due to contract issues with the Kenya Rugby Union, but will now join his teammates in time for the third leg. Brian Tanga, who has been nursing injuries, is also back in the squad that will be co-captained by Samuel Asati and George Oro.
We've had a week's camp in Nakuru, where we just had the time to sit down as a team, shake off the Christmas meals and get down to business, which was analyzing our games in Dubai and Cape Town, and also just looking at what the opposition is going to bring to us.
We focused more on the tactical aspect, and the boost from Onyala, Tony and Tanga, I believe brings leadership and experience to the team. So I believe we are at a good place.
Others in the squad include Tony Omondi, who joined them in Cape Town, with Kevin Wekesa, Patrick Ondogo, William Mwanji, Dennis Ambukuse, Nigel Amaita, Festus Shiashi, Ben Salim and Floyd Obire, completing the 13-man traveling squad. Shujaa drawn in Pool C alongside powerhouses Fiji, New Zealand and Uruguay, with their first match against New Zealand next week on Friday.
Well, all the best to the team as they venture out. Well, that's where we end the bulletin this morning. Thank you so much for your company. My name is Marie Iyambo, but remember, my colleague Mike Megwe is just on standby. He's bringing you, the interview on femicide. So stay tuned for more.